Hello, good afternoon, well, good evening. It's getting a bit too dark where I am. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I finally made it and I'm finally here, and I thank God for being here and making it happen. So this is gonna be my first YouTube video, and it's gonna be about why you should start something. So I have a list of things you have to do to start that one thing you wanna start. So I'll give a brief introduction about myself. So I've been wanting to do YouTube for so long, since I was in secondary school. I'm always making excuses as to why I cannot start a YouTube channel. I'll record videos, it got to the point where I will ask my friends to actually do recording, so there was time investment, but there's that one thing that would not let me do it. Call it panic, call it fear, call it anxiety, all the different reasons why I could not start. And today, you know what, I have to do it. So I am here comfortable in my homeware, no makeup on, glasses on, not trying to look glam for the camera. I just need to get it done. So that's why I'm here today. So I've got a list so that you too, if you have something that you know is inside you that you want to give out to people, and it's a gift, okay? It's a gift. So one thing before I get that, you need to know that other people are important. So when you have that feeling or believe that other people are important, then you then push yourself to give that gift that you have to people that are important. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. In my head it makes sense, but when it comes out, I don't know. So if you want to start that business, that YouTube channel, that initiating, what it would first do is challenge. You have to challenge yourself. As humans, we're driven by challenge. People like to watch football is because of the challenge. Is that person going to score? Who is going to score? Is that challenge? We drive off challenge. Sometimes I say men, which is through challenge, but I think all humans are motivated through challenge, because once we achieve that challenge, we then have self-belief. We're like, oh, okay, since I can achieve this, I can achieve anything. So that's how it starts. So we challenge ourselves. If it's that YouTube channel, challenge yourself that, you know what, you're gonna open that YouTube channel. If it's that business, challenge yourself that, you know what, by the end of the year, I'm gonna take small steps, even if it's not 4 steps, that small step to get there. So it's just challenging yourself. So that's the first thing, is you have to challenge yourself. I know sometimes we have wants, sometimes we have sadnesses. Yes, we deal with them, but then we say, you know what, I've given you a month, I've given you 2 months, and then after that, you have to do this. Not 100% of the goal, but at least a fraction of that. So the second tip I will say as well is 1 step at a time. I've got a cold, so excuse me, I've got a little drink here. Good for my throat. So 1 step at a time. As long as you've taken steps forward more than what you've taken the day before or the time before when you tried this thing, then consider that an achievement, because that's not something you've done before. So even if you take a small step, to you it might be, oh, that's a tiny step, but it's a step that you did not take before. So that's something. And then the third tip I would say is that start with a skeleton plan. Sometimes when New Year's come, we're like, oh, New Year resolution, I'm gonna do this. It's like from 0 to 100, and I don't think that works. Why do I not think that works? Because sometimes January goes past, February goes past. By the time we go back to that plan we've made, so much time has gone that we cannot then achieve everything we've put on our list. But if we have like a skeleton plan, for example, maybe we start off with a few lists actually. I'm gonna learn how to drive a car, I'm gonna travel, and I'm gonna pass an exam, for example. Those 3 lists. Just that, you know, that's how I would say start off, just that. Make a skeleton of what you wanna do. And then throughout the months, or when you go back to it, you can then put in the meat. So for example, if you wanna drive a car, what do you need to do? You need to book your theory. You need to practice for your theory. You need to then book your your practical exams, and then you need to do your practical lessons. So there's steps that come underneath, but in the beginning, if you put all of that in, it's gonna be scary. You're gonna look at a piece of paper and you'll be like, oh my god, like, who do I think I am? I'm not gonna achieve all these things. So that's why it's important to have them listed. List the 3 things or 4 things or 5 things. So I would say the most you can put down is maybe 6, I would say. I feel like you're doing too much. But once you finish with those 6 goals, then you can always add more. So what I would say is, like, you can start off some goals, New Year resolution, you can put 3 goals, and then when your birthday come up, You can then review those goals. If you've achieved them, fair enough. If you haven't achieved them, you can put them, okay, after my birthday, I'm going to achieve these. Or if you finished it by your birthday, you can then be like, okay, I'm going to add 3 more. You know, so it's you're not in a competition with the world, you're in a competition with yourself. So that's what that is. So make a skeleton of the different things you want to achieve. And then one thing that has to be on your list is that you have to come back to the list. So for example, let's say you do a list for January, you do on a New Year's resolution, you'll be like, okay, January 15, I have to come back to this, and then you set an alarm on your phone that January 15 view list, and then you can look at the list again, and then you can then talk about what you're going to do for your what's on your first list, etc, etc. If you want me to go into depth with this, then I will do that, but for now, otherwise this recording is going to be so long, so I'll stop that for that tip. And then tip 4 is do not give up. It's going to be hard throughout that year. So much is going to come up that you did not expect. Family, getting ill, like just unexpected things will come up, and then you might take a break, or you might just give up for a while. But what makes us resilient is when you give up, you come back. You know, you have that period, that grace period for yourself. Okay, I'm going to a bad week, but it shouldn't be a bad life. After a while, you lift yourself back up and you continue pushing. That's what that is about. So number 5, tip 5, like I said, in my journey, fear was the reason that I could not start a YouTube channel. I know deep down I wanted to do it, just fear could not let me do it. So what I would say is fear is our biggest enemy, is the biggest killer to our dreams and our ambitions. So you might have that thing. So once you've decided what you want to achieve, you might have that things that come in your mind, or you're not going to be able to do that. So let's say you want to open a YouTube channel, you're going to have that voice in your head, oh, no one is going to watch it, what's the point, who's going to watch that? Or it will be like, you're going to be too controversial, you know, all these negative things come up. Another one will be like, oh, you're not smart enough, people are going to think you're saying stupid things. But you know what, if people think you're going to say stupid things, that's on them. What you're saying is not for them at this point, so you just let it be. But that should not stop you from being and giving what you're feeling to give, if that makes sense. So one thing I would say as well is make a promise to yourself, right? Make a promise that you're gonna commit yourself to this, because everything is commitment. You know, a relationship takes commitment, raising a family takes commitment, going to work, being employed takes commitment. Sometimes we love to do this, we want to do it, but it takes commitment, because love doesn't always prevail. I'm sorry, like a lot of people say, as long as this person loves me, it's gonna prevail. But no, I'll say it's commitment. Commit yourself to these things that, you know what, you've said you're gonna do this, and you owe it to yourself to achieve these things. So you set a commitment to yourself. If that means you write it down, that, you know, I'm gonna commit to doing this by the end of this time, but you have to commit to it. That's what makes it achievable, you know. And I advise that you write it down so that you can read it every time you feel like you're giving up. You can go back and you can read it, and you can remember all that feeling you were feeling when you originally wrote that. And the beautiful part is checking it, you know. So a beautiful thing is just when you check your list, you're like, oh, I've achieved this, and you check it. I love checking my list. Like, you do not understand how much I love checking my list. It just makes me like feel so accomplished. You should feel accomplished without the practice of ticking, but still, it's just nice, okay? And it just empowers me to do it more. So if I create that list and December comes and I'm sitting down, that's my favorite part actually of the end of the year, is when I sit down and I'll be like, oh, okay, what have I achieved this year? What have I not achieved this year? And the fact that, you know, I've committed myself to, even if I don't achieve all of my goals for that year, I feel proud for the fact that I'm conscious about my year now, if that makes sense. Like, the years are not just passing, but I'm actually conscious of that year. So it's a beautiful thing. Remember when I did a solo trip, actually, I went to different countries in Europe in the space of 2 weeks. And when I landed, like, literally, I'm not even kidding, when I landed, I just ticked that box, a solo travel, because for me, for a long time, I wanted to travel with friends. That was actually my first holiday, and it happened to be a solo trip. It was scary at first, but you know what, and I did it, and I can say it's worth it. You know, like I said, as I landed, I just ticked it that I've done a solo trip, and I'm so proud of myself, because it's scary, right? Going to a different country that you're not aware of, also your first traveling, it's a scary thing. And that gave me kind of self-belief because I actualized that. So what I'm trying to say is that when you actually achieve these things that you desire to achieve, it gives you a confidence that nothing can give you that. Words, people telling you certain things will not give you that kind of confidence, because this is a confidence that you've actually still realized that you've, it's like you think your body, you think you cannot do it, but like you're proven wrong by yourself. So it's beautiful. So that's what I will say. So these are the different lists that I wrote down. So now I'm just gonna speak as it comes to me in terms of just different things really. So for me, like I said, I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and the biggest reason that I could not do it was, one, I did not know what I was going to talk about. I was all over the place, and in a way, I'm kind of happy I did not start a YouTube channel before, just because the things that I wanted to talk about has changed. Like before I wanted to talk about different things, and now what I want to talk about is completely different. So I feel like if I did have a channel then, I would have had to get a different channel, because what I'm talking about now is not what I originally wanted my YouTube channel to be. So I guess it's not a bad thing, but I'm a sole believer that things happen when they're supposed to happen, right? So I'm not gonna hold myself in praise and saying, oh, why did you not do it 7 years ago? You would have had so many followers by now. No, I'm not gonna hold myself, because you know what, it happened now because now it's supposed to happen, right? So that's why it's happening now. So I will say the same thing. And another thing I wanted to say as well is what motivated me to do this is the pandemic, right? The pandemic has affected all of our lives, whether we are aware of it, whether subconsciously, it definitely affected our lives. And so during the pandemic, I went through some kind of realization, some kind of depression, just everything, right? Everything was going on, and I realized, you know what, there's no more time, literally there's no more time to just exist, right? There's no more time to just exist. You need to do more than existing. I'm sorry, I congratulate you, I applaud you, because existing alone right now, the way the world is going, it's not easy. So I applaud you for that. But we want to live a life that's more than existing. I know you do, because I realized how much I did when pandemic happened, right? I realized that, you know what, this is a gift. Life is a gift. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that when you're out, when we see different things in the news, it's like, oh, what's the point of life really? Like, am I just made to just work, go to a school that I don't want to go, get up in the morning? I don't know what time you wake up, but I wake up at 6 to get to work. You're like, is this what life is supposed to be like? Waking up at 6, and then you're at work, and then you're thinking about getting home, sleeping, catching up on sleep, and then doing it again the next day. You think, really, it's exhausting. Like, it's really exhausting. Is this what I want to do? So that's what motivated me to start, you know? So now I'm saying zero excuses to all these things that was going on in my head to stop me from doing these things that I want to do. So I'm like, you know what, now I have to do it. Now I have to do it. I have to hold myself accountable, and it's not gonna be pretty. I'm not gonna always wake up and be like, oh, okay, let me do my goals. No, but that's what it is, you know? We don't feel like doing things. Sorry, we don't feel like going to work, but we know the bills has to get paid. So sometimes we just either make ourselves comfortable now and suffer in the long run, or make our life a little bit uncomfortable now with some level of control and enjoy later. So that's how I kind of motivate myself. So, and also I'll say that's one way you can motivate yourself as well. So thank you so much for watching this little piece of video, and I'm looking forward to do more videos. I hope you come along with me in this journey. It's gonna be scary, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be honest, and there might be some tears, you know, there might be some crying, you never know. Like, so yeah, so thank you so much. Let this be a new year and a new beginning, not just for you, person within you. So thank you. For me, today is Saturday. I don't know where you'll be listening. I'm happy that you're this space with me. I'm happy that you can hear my voice. I'm happy that you can see me, and I just hope that anything that comes out my mouth is able to resonate with you in some way. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you down in the comments. I'll try and read the comments. I'm new to this, like I said, but I'm committed, so I'll try and read the comment, and I'll try to get back to you. So cheers. All right, bye now.